So, Ludmila, thank you. You are
Welcome.
in Hungary right now, correct? In Budapest, right? And
Yes,
you had to
yes,
you had
yes.
to leave Ukraine because you didn't have access to medicine for Olkesii, correct? Is that correct? That's the main reason that you had. I mean,
Right, you are.
this.
I wasn't sure. I
Okay.
wasn't sure that we would. Uh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure that we would get enough medication because nothing is sure about that in my country, in Ukraine, and because my son had got two strokes, he needed rehabilitation. And did understand that rehabilitation could be another problem for him, for me, if he stayed there.
And what is the autoinflammatory disease that Oleksi has?
He was diagnosed with hyperimmunoglobulinemia D or mevalon kinase deficiency.
Okay, and the first one is HIDS, correct? For short.
Yes, right, you are.
Yes, yes. So he has
It's
HIT
MKD.
and
Mhm.
MKD. So those are actually uh, two of the more rare ones, I believe, for him. And then um, the fact that he had the two strokes, were that due to the autoinflammatory diseases?
We didn't know that he had HIDS up to his 20 years old. He was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, uh, some complicated forms connected with his joints and gastroenterology organs. So, and when he had the first stroke, it was not very hard. He recovered quite
Oh,
quickly.
okay.
Then he had some some adhesions that blocked his bowels. He was
Oh.
operated, and then again the second stroke. I started asking our doctors what was going on. Strokes at the age of 26 and 27 and 29. I'm sorry, 27 and 29, yes. And I started my next search to find out the reasons, and it brought me to a doctor in another city in Ukraine,
Mm.
and she suspected that my son had an autoinflammatory disease. She helped us to help us to get him tested in uh, genetic,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to go through genetic testing
Yep.
in, I forgot the name of this laboratory in New York,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we got the result that he had HIDS, but HIDS has nothing common with strokes, as it was written
Mm.
in a lot of information on the internet, and I was still
Oh,
trying to find the reasons of his
yeah.
hits because I was afraid of the next one.
Oh,
So probably, probably it is a kind of medicine science, medical science that is not investigated or studied up to now.
yeah.
So
Wow.
it is possible that his strokes are connected with his diagnosis with his, or maybe not. But
Hmm.
neurologists in my city couldn't tell me why he had two strokes. After the second stroke, he almost lost his memory. He couldn't speak. And right now he's 35, but he behaves like a 5-year-old boy.
Oh,
He's positive.
yeah.
He can work. He has some problems with his limbs, but you know, I don't know if I can bring him back to a normal life because he's a child.
Mm-hmm.
I have to add, if you give me some more time, that
Sure.
when he was diagnosed with HIDS, when his doctor what medications he could use. So we started looking for money because anakinra or tocilizumab or canakinumab, they are extremely expensive for our family and for most of people
Yeah.
who are suffering from autoinflammatory
Yep.
diseases, and different people donated. So I revealed my tragedy to the whole world. I did it on Facebook, but later I tried to hide this information because I did it without asking for his permission. I thought that when he recovered, he would ask me, why did you do that? I didn't agree. I didn't let you do. So I have copies, but it is not available on Facebook now. So a lot of people donated money, and my son Olkesii started taking anakinra in March 2020. Believe me, since then, he had only 2 cases of very light flares.
Wow.
It's very unlike all the 30 years before. All his 30 years before, he had flares almost every month with all those symptoms that are listed for HIDS. So it tells me that anakinra helps a lot. And it's my pain that at last we know his right diagnosis. At last we know which medications he has to take for all his life, but still we cannot buy medication ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to ask some maybe, okay, some people who have money, some people who have big hearts, who uh, can help. And we didn't know that it would be so cruel, that it will bring him to these 2 strokes. It's my main pain,
Yeah.
his strokes results. Or
I mean, this is why
do
why
please.
I do this, because
I
like you
have
said,
finished.
people need to understand what we go through as patients, and what you go through as a parent, and the fact that you're saying. I mean, we all understand how expensive the medicine is, and but here, some of us are very lucky with the insurance and everything like that. But I know over there, it's much different, and it's much more difficult. And so, folks, if you're watching this, this is why we're raising money for FMF and AID Global, so that possibly we can help. I mean, the organization wants to help. That's why I want to share the story, is so that we can make sure that Olkesii gets his medicine, because I mean, it's not fair what he's had to endure, what Ludmila here has had to endure at all, because they didn't ask for this. I mean, I always curse myself and say I didn't ask for this. I have
Uh,
FMF, and I didn't. I wasn't. People. I think about the people who do damage their health on their own accord, and then go get paid for it, and then there's people like Olkesii and you and myself and thousands of others that that need help. Now you said that uh, Olkesii is staying positive, which is, I feel like, 75% of it. Have you um, have you started to learn what the triggers are for Olkesii's flares at all? So that you can know, like, maybe if a flare is coming, that you
uh,
can maybe prevent it somehow. If you know a situation might bring on a flare.
uh, uh, since 2020, he has had only 2 flares in the lightest form, and or about all possible triggers from his previous, from the 30 years before before the start of medications. So
Good.
um, anything that makes him feel worse could be a trigger. And even, I mean, any recurrent disease, any virus, any cold, any allergy, any, even if he feels fatigue, even if he had emotional stress and physical stress as well, because he tried to be strong as a young man, and he went to the gym twice. He tried to become strong twice, and after one day at a gym, he got sick for 2 weeks.
Oh
he
my
he
God.
felt sick for 2 weeks, and I didn't know actually. It was just my observation of his problems, and I asked the person who was in at the gym if he could work with my son personally, and he told my son didn't want. My son decided to do it himself. Maybe if he had been more careful, he wouldn't have had such bad results. But okay, he liked bicycling, and we bought him a bicycle,
Oh.
and it was his physical activities. But you do know such kind of condition when you cannot plan anything,
Yeah.
it blocks a lot of your initiatives. It
Yes.
it changes his plans, my plans, and he, he. A lot of people become very pessimistic because we cannot arrange our life. We cannot
Yep.
arrange meetings with friends, and even personal life.
Yes.
He had some love stories, and before the second stroke, he was ready to get married,
Oh my
but it
gosh.
didn't help. So a kind of isolation. His condition now that he does not understand where he
Yeah.
is a little bit helpful. I think that if he had known the reality, what had happened to him, and that it had blocked a lot of opportunities for him, he would be suffering much more
Yeah.
than now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no, it's okay. I
It's a
understand.
very
Oh,
sad part of our life. And
it's this is why we need to get the story
you
out,
know,
though.
all the
Yeah,
people.
I do. I
Can I tell you why we need medication? Why we are asking those people who can help? Here in Budapest, I came here because it is the closest, one of the closest countries from Ukraine.
Mhm.
I didn't hope to stay here so long,
Oh.
as a lot of Ukrainians. We hoped to be here for 2, 3 weeks, not longer.
Mm.
I didn't expect the war would be such long, and I had some medication that was given in Ukraine, but then it was over, and I asked um, organizations, what is the right word, how to put it in English, organizations who helped Ukrainians,
Mhm.
and one of them paid a lot, and we had 9 months
Oh
of
wow.
the medication given by that organization. Then the hospital where my son is under control also donated um, 8 months
Oh
doses,
wow. Okay.
but I've tried to appeal to the organization. I mean, the highest level organization that takes decisions whether how what to pay for. I mean, it's a kind of insurance company
Yep.
that pays medical needs,
Sure.
and they refused us.
Oh my
They refused
gosh.
us twice because, as people from Ukraine, we have limited rights to
Oh my
get such kind of
gosh.
medications officially.
Oh my
We don't
god.
have the right. Yeah, I've tried to search so many ways here, and it always ended in nothing. Uh, I didn't ask anybody to help me with money for food or with money for the apartment rent. I asked only to help with the medication because that is the most important in our life. Mm, nothing, nothing, nothing. And Ukraine, I have to tell you that a week ago, our parents of children with autoinflammatory diseases had a kind of conversation online,
Oh,
and we found out that anakinra, um, there was no agreement with any company producing anakinra was signed no agreement with such companies was signed in Ukraine. That means that for the next year we will not have
yeah.
Anakinra.
Oh my gosh.
I understand that the country is in war,
That.
but what should we do? I
Yeah.
have my own war for 35 years. He's 35 now.
Yeah.
I cannot find the solution.
We need to raise money so that we can buy the medicine and get it to you and Alexei. That's the bottom line, folks. Is you need to listen to this story and donate money, $1, $10, $100, however much you can, because every little bit counts so that we can go and help people like Ludmila and Olekси. No medicine. No medicine. I can't. I went through that for only a month and a half. I can't imagine going through that for that long. You know, I've been on medicine since I was 3 years old. I was one of the lucky ones to be diagnosed early. And again, this is why I do this so that the folks like yourself can figure out a way to get the resources they need to be able to get medicine, treatment, care. Because it's, again, we didn't ask for this. None of us asked for this. This is something that was, you know, I don't get religious, but and I always ask if there really is a God, why would He do this to such good people? You know, I can, I listened to the story about
Who
Alexei
can answer?
before. Yeah, yeah, and I listened to the story about Alexei about when he was younger, before the strokes, and how he was, trying to go to the gym and be in a relationship and get married. And I think all of us that have these kind of diseases want at some point to try and live a quote normal life, and many of us fail. And unfortunately, the world forgets about us a lot of times. And so I'm doing this, and you're sharing your story about Alexei so that we can be seen, so that we can be seen. And I I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this, and that I'm sure you said that you were speaking to other Ukrainian parents and of autoinflammatory and patients, and how many are there? I mean, and are they all out of Ukraine, and are they safe? And I my heart is hurting right now
I don't
because
know about all of I don't know the exact number of patients with autoinflammatory diseases in Ukraine. I know that he is the only one patient with, I mean, an adult patient with kids in
oh
Ukraine.
wow,
There are several, 2 or 3 kids, but Olekii is 35.
yeah,
I've been trying to save his life, to help him overcome his disease all his life, and maybe that's why he is alive.
yeah, absolutely,
He was diagnosed at the age of 30, uh, and the doctors didn't know. Ukrainian doctors didn't know about this disease. Believe me, I have
I believe you.
I have met a lot of doctors, and I was told that his disease looks strange, and some of them, maybe a couple of them, told, I don't know what it is. Believe me, I cannot tell you anything because I don't know what is going with him. So I understand the medicine was not on the right level to get this disease at the age when he was a kid to help him with the right treatment. But the diagnostic before 2022, before February 2022, Ukrainian medicine was able to find such disease, to diagnose such disease at an early age. But when my son was young, they couldn't.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I know. Yeah, it was a different time back then. I mean, he's only, you know, he's not even 10 years younger than me. So, he was born in a time that I like to call the Wild West of autoinflammatory disease. When I was diagnosed with FMF, they didn't call it autoinflammatory; they called it a tropical disease. And over the years, it wasn't until the late 90s that genetic testing started. I was one of the first for FMF done to have a genetic test done in Israel, and so yeah, I can imagine what you went through with Olkesii growing up, because if you don't have access to the medicine, if you don't know what it is, as we've heard so many stories from so many other patients through FMF and Anti-Global, and you'll hear some more over this weekend, but it just shows how much of a, like you said, it was a war. You were fighting a battle after battle after battle. It felt like a war to you.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you know what it is. Yeah.
Alexi's body was winning, unfortunately. And unfortunately, the battle that broke, that broke the war, unfortunately, was the last stroke. And now I know that you're doing your best, as any parent can. And but again, your best, as you know, and as you've stated, and as you've tried to tell everybody that's watching today, cannot be enough because of money. Because that's what makes, unfortunately, money makes the world go round, unfortunately. And people don't just give medicine to the people that need it, even if it's something they need not of their own fault. And so, please listen to this story. Watch, if you've made it this far on this interview, consider donating to FMF and AID Global Association so that we can help get medicine to Olkesii. Is there anything you want to add, Ludmila, at all?
I am grateful to. I'm grateful to you, Chris, to FMF and AID, to Malena, and to all the people who could help us, who could feel our. And it's not only for parents, it's for people who suffer from such a dangerous disease, a cruel disease. If any person can help, please do it. We really need, and we're really grateful. I am more than grateful to everybody who could donate any money to buy my son medication. And I know that a lot of other people need that because this medication is very expensive. I have tried to appeal. I got connected to Novartis,
Oh,
the
yeah.
the company who produces anakinra. I got connected to Sobi, the company who produces. Maybe Novartis produces canakinumab and Sobi produces
Mm-hmm.
anakinra, and we were we were refused. I explained that we are in a hard situation. Uh, they didn't agree. They didn't want to help. So this personal appeal to help this one person didn't work. Didn't work. I don't know who to ask yet. Who to ask more probably, or who else to ask. Yeah, this is the right way to say my idea. I really hope for people with big hearts. Please help us. Thank you
Yeah,
for inviting us
of
here.
course.
Thank you for letting me tell people that some of us need this help, because even because he doesn't understand what is going on with him, he is worth good life, good and healthy life,
Deserves that. We all, yeah.
as well as all other patients.
Yeah. Just people are, we are live while we're recording this. So I just want to let you know that there are people in the chat just telling you how brave you are to share your story. And I agree. It's, we take things for granted here in our country, in the United States, a lot. So we need a reality check sometimes, and hearing from someone like yourself is that reality check to realize that people need our help everywhere. I mean, the fact that two large corporations that produce medicine denied a patient, claiming that they're not in a tough situation when they're displaced from their home because of a war. I don't know how tougher of a situation you can get in. So, man, Novartis and Sobi, they need to see this because this is ridiculous. I'm angry for you. That's not right. And this, folks, is why we're raising awareness, why we're raising money. So, Ludmila, thank you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I know you want to get back to Olkesii. So if there's
Thank you very much.
Any other stories you ever want to share, let me know and we'll get it out there for sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I wish everybody to be healthy and to be happy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ludmila. Bye. You have a good evening and stay safe. And hope Olkesii stays healthy.
You. The same.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, folks. Thank you for listening to that story. Remember, we are raising money for FMF and AID Global Association. You will be hearing more stories during the Streamathon, probably nothing like Ludmila and Oleksii's story, but you will be hearing other stories from patients. So let's get the word out there, get the link out there. We need to raise money. We need to get medicine to Olkesii. I mean, that to me is, we help so many people. That now to me is priority number one. And if you want information on the diseases that he is diagnosed with, you can go to the FMF and AID Global Association website by clicking on that eye, and then you go to diseases up at the top, and he has HIDS. No, wait, no, where's HIDS? HIDS, right here. HIDS MKD. This is what he was diagnosed with right here. And it's very similar to the other ones, just it does other things. It affects different genes, so they call it different names, but it causes amyloidosis, has fever, chills, headache, swelling of lymph nodes, abdominal pain in general, rashes, arthritis, fatigue, things that we all deal with as auto-inflammatory patients. So please consider donating to the FMF and AID Global Association Rare Disease Day fundraiser. So many people have donated so far. Thank you to all of you who have donated so far. And we're going to get back to our live streamathon, so make sure you come and hang out during that, because this interview is going to be getting out right away. I'll probably even make the thumbnail live on stream so that we can get this out, because we're at $500, folks. We need to raise much more than that now because we need to get Olkesii his medicine, because it's not right. It is not right what these companies are doing, and it's not right that this family is displaced from their home and having to suffer like this. So let's get the word out. Thank you all, and we're going to get back now to our regularly scheduled program and get some more interviews throughout today on Rare Disease Day, February 28th. 8th. Thank you all and take care.